You guys all good in the back? Ready to go?
Yep.
All right. Frank, why don't you kick us off, please?
Caleb, your impressions of the game, and especially talking about what happened early in the second half.
Yeah, not good enough. First of all, I take responsibility. I'm the head coach, and it's my job to pick the players, prepare the players, and win games. That hasn't happened. So buck starts and stops with me. Needs to be better. I thought we played very well first half. Thought we carried the game. I thought we got in great spots to score. We got to find the goal. I don't know what happened to start the second half. For me, that's the big question I have, and that's the question I ask them. How do we in a home game where we're playing well, do we start the second half that poor? And what changed? You know, for me, it's the mentality. It needs to be stronger. And you know, in front of our supporters, we piss away 2 goals. And now we're in a hole. And then all of a sudden, the mentality changes. So for me, that tells me everything I need to know. We got to work on the mentality of this group, because we lost the game because we started the second half poor.
We'll go to Rich Thompson.
Caleb, I know that looked like your A starting 11 today, but with this busy schedule, is this just a lack of continuity even with your best guys on the field?
I mean, there are a lot of excuses. You know, we haven't trained. For 3.5 weeks, we haven't trained. Not even 1 day. You know, the training days we've had are walkthroughs because the guys are still recovering. So, for sure, you know, lack of training, building those habits. If you don't train, you lose, you know, the little details and the habits. Even though, you know, tactically, you can move magnets, show video, and walk through, and they're organized. But you know, just being cleaner, you need habits through training. You know, there are a lot of excuses, right? But in the end, we didn't get the job done today.
Go back here.
Really from Boss Negócio Fechado. We finished the last season a good position, 50th place, went to playoffs, and now we're starting with 4 losses. Beyond this point, did you imagine it was going to be so hard or would be tough? Or are you questioning yourself, or you asking about the mentality of the group? What do you think about it?
I'm not questioning myself, other than I'll always analyze my role every game and what I could do better. But in terms of the vision and where we're going, I'm more convinced than ever we'll get there. I mean, this bus is moving. I'm learning that there are some guys that are on it. Some guys are on it and driving, helping to drive it. Some guys are on it but sitting in the back. And some guys maybe aren't on it, you know? So in the end, I'll go back to my point. It starts with me. It's my responsibility to get the team there. But there's no question I know how to get there. It's just figuring out, a lot of it is figuring out who can consistently perform and have the mentality that we need game in, game out. But I never expected to be 0-4 in the league, no.
When
You got to follow up. Go ahead.
when you say this, some players, they're not on 100%. Are you thinking?
They want to be on.
Are you thinking to get some players from reps too, or bring more players from outside, or just convince them they need to follow up?
I think everybody wants to be on the bus. That's whether or not they can do it. So for me, the skill set is there, but it's the mentality. It's the consistency. Now, maybe through training, right, then we can build that consistency in their mentality and their competency. We've had good performances out of guys, but today it wasn't enough out of our 11 to win games in MLS. It's a tough league. It's a very, very tough league. The margins are fine. They're very thin. Every team's a good team. Every team has a good coach. You know, for me today, if you watch that first half, we did everything we wanted to do. We played through their press at will. We got on the final third all day. We got to find the goal. We can't play that well and have nothing to show for it. But if we don't find the goal, we have to have a mentality to keep a clean sheet until we do find the goal. And that's the other problem is we keep giving away, you know, soft goals, too cheap. You know, a set piece, a free kick under the wall. I've never seen that. I've seen it. I've never been a part of a game where that happens. You know, so bottom line, we have to be better. And we have to find guys who can be more consistent and who can perform in the way we need them to perform, game in, game out, and have a stronger, tougher mentality. Both sides of the ball.
Go to Sam and then Seth.
And Caleb, you kind of mentioned soft goals, so just overall, I know obviously you defend as a unit, but how do you feel Henrich Ravas is performing? You know, do you think he's the man for the starting job?
I think he had a very good game on Thursday. I want to see more consistency, you know, so I think that's the key. There's no doubt in my mind that every guy on this team can do it. It's whether or not they can do it every single game, consistently. That's the key. The best teams in this league, the teams that win trophies, the two teams I've had that won MLS Cup, were very, very consistent teams. Game in, game out, tough mentality, very, very strong teams mentally, physically, good defensive teams. And we'd find ways to win, you know, and so this is a group that clearly is still coming together in that regard. I think there were signs of that last year, you know, when you look at the group at the end of the year, there were signs, you know, so I don't think it's out of the blue. We're still forming that mentality, forming that mental toughness, resiliency, all the things, intangible things. You know, when the bullets start flying and push comes to shove, these guys need to be stronger. You know, and no way we should start that second half like that.
Seth?
It seemed like you had a long conversation with the players after the game. What was being talked about, mentality, whatever else, and how did the players react to that conversation?
These guys are all bought in. They want to do everything that we're asking them to do. That's key. But then now they need to do it, you know. So I had more questions than answers and solutions for them. And the biggest question is, how do you start the second half like that?
Can I just ask one follow-up question? You have talked really highly about the roster coming into it. Now that you've seen the roster a little bit more, you talked about potentially bringing in pieces, but are there things that you are looking at, whether it's this window or next, that you think you can really strengthen?
I mean, we're 0-4, right? So we clearly need to get better. It's that simple. I'm going to keep making these guys better. It'll help having training, but clearly we need to improve. You know, and some of that is get in the film room. Some of that is training. Some of that is having some hard conversations. Some of that is, you know, things I can do better always. But some of it, yeah, is seeing how we can bolster the roster, no doubt.
All right, I think we're all set. Thank you, Caleb.
All right, thanks, guys.